Welcome back to the Full Perspective. This is Eddie, always alongside Alex, and today I had the absolute luxury and pleasure of receiving a text from Taylor Frazier saying podcast tonight, ? And I'm like, when? How? Where? Why? Mm-hmm. Taylor, dude, thanks for coming on.
My kids were being absolute spaz monkeys, so I had to get out of the house. Now, well, a little bit. They were.
Yeah. Two kiddos. Dude, we've been friends forever. I'll never forget the time where I was 9 years old. Taylor was 12. We were on the same Little League team, and he walked up to me in the bathroom, and I'm scared shitless, and he's like, yo, you're on my team. It's like, fuck.
No.
Who is that guy?
No.
But I don't want to tell your story. I think it would obviously be better coming from you. You don't like when I brag about you, so I'll just hit you with this right off the bat. Obviously military experience.
Yeah.
Bring me through before you enlisted. Who were you? What's your story up until that point when you entered the military?
I thought you were going to hit me with the most difficult interview question, where they go, tell me about yourself.
No, yeah. I basically said that.
That's the worst. That is the worst.
It's the worst, yeah.
Because then you have to be able to talk about yourself, and then it's like weird, because you don't want to you never want to brag about yourself. Yeah, that's what's so difficult. Mm-hmm. That's a good way to start, because I do think, like, from going in beforehand, like, dude, I was a completely different person than I am now.
Yeah.
Like 100%. And even getting out, that's a whole different phase of my life too.
Yeah. Let's start with phase one then.
Yeah. So had no fucking idea what I wanted to do out of high school, just to be real. Like, everyone played sports. Everyone wanted to do something and figure it out, or go to school for something specific. I honestly had no idea. And that kind of scared the living crap out of me. So I was like, military sounds like a decent idea. Let's shoot for that. Right. So, my mom is actually really funny. She obviously, the first thing any mother is going to be like, really? Like, yeah. I mean, it was not a horrible time to join, realistically, like, combative wise, because we were in, like, the back end of Iraq. But, like, any mother, they don't want to hear that. No. So she goes like, oh, you should join the Coast Guard. I'm like, fuck the Coast Guard. I want to be a grunt. I want to be in the Marine Corps. I was 18, dude. I was like, I wanted to be tough. I wanted, like, it was just the whole mentality, like, at my age at that time. Do I regret it a little bit? Yeah. Because I probably could have went a different route where, like, Coast Guard, you can retire there, no problem. Like, it's one of those, Air Force, like, you can get different education in different areas, and you get a lot more out of it, I think, in, like, an education purpose wise. But me going in as, like, a grunt in the military, it was like, that's the most basic thing you can do, right? Yeah. But it's also a very easy way to expand, like, every trait you can do is like an 0311, because, like, you can go all these different schools and everything else.
What is an 0311?
So a part of the military, like, with even the Army and Marine Corps, there's infantry-based MOSs. So the Marine Corps, everything begins with 03. Yeah. And then there's 11s, which is riflemen. There's 31s, which is machine gunners. There's 41s. There's all different portions of, like, mortarmen. It's all part of the infantry trait. And then that's the same thing for, like, the Army. I think it's like 11 Bravos, and they have all different nomenclature for each MOS. So it's like your job, your number, right? Yeah, yeah. But that's what I wanted to go in as, which, again, not the brightest of ideas. Yeah.
So in high school, you were kind of just like, hey, give me that, like, grunt role, like you said.
Yeah.
Is that, like, considered the most dangerous, you think?
Oh, yeah. So, like, this is, like, kind of a weird, mind-blowing thing that I didn't really realize till after and kind of recognize it, but 3% of the entire military is infantry. So everyone else is supporting that 3%. That's why you'll see those moto stickers over, like, some certain trucks. They got the three lines, the circle. That's 3%.
Really?
Yeah, that's what that is. So it's, I mean, again, like, there is other MOSs that are more involved in combat as well. It's not like just that 3% in combat. Yeah. Like, you're going to have, like, transport that's going to be delivering the guys. You're going to have air support. You're going to have, like, there's all different type. Like, artillery's technically not in infantry, but artillery is obviously involved. Okay. Tanks, stuff like that, where, like, they're not technically infantry like 03, but so I think that was one of those factors where it's like, once you're in that 3%, though, it's kind of cool too. Yeah. That's the thing. Like, and the military does a really good job with it. So, just step one, obviously, like boot camp, right?
Yeah.
And I don't want to jump too far into it.
No. You're good.
It's like everyone tells you before you go, Marine Corps the hardest boot camp ever. Like, it's the worst training you can do. No, dude, it's easy as shit. Just to be real, it's honestly the easiest training you do. Part of your like all your training is like in the infantry. So it's really just a mental game. That's all. It is. Anyone can do it. Doesn't matter. Like if you're not physically fit, they're gonna make you physically fit.
Yeah.
If you want to get through boot camp, you will get through boot camp.
Yeah.
So it's just a mental game of being able to get through it. That's it.
So mentality is more important than physicality.
Yeah, they're
in boot camp.
They're
right
trying
off the bat.
groom you and discipline you.
Okay.
And if you can take discipline and listen, you will get through boot camp.
Before you went to boot camp, were you nervous and you were like, I can't believe I'm actually doing this?
Oh yeah, hell yeah, dude. Because you got to think, I'm just like anyone going to college or leaving when you're 18.
How old were you? Were 18?
I was 18, yeah. So
where'd you get sent to?
Parris Island, South Carolina.
South Carolina, right off the bat.
Yeah.
So you a little nervous. You're like, shit, I'm going into the Marines. Like
this is real life now.
Yeah, this is real life.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a grunt. I'm going to be in some shit.
Yeah.
Were you anticipating, you're like, was there any anticipation there? You were kind of just going with the flow.
I had no idea what the fuck was going to happen. Just to be honest, I had no idea.
Okay. So then you're in
dumb, right?
Yeah, you're in boot camp.
Yeah.
And where do you go from there?
So after boot camp, which boot camp's always fun, dude. It's fun. It's dude. There's some hilarious stories in boot camp, even because like movies do a decent job with it. Like they do. Like they're pretty funny. Like, there's always a private pile. There's always the fat kid. It really is like that. It's hilarious. But again, it's not something that a normal human being can't do. I really believe if you want to be something and you want to be a Marine, you can easily get through boot camp.
Yeah.
So is it the most difficult? Probably, but
yeah. So you entered as what? What was your title as your?
Oh, E1. So it's a
Marine Corps E1.
Private. Good old private.
Fucking private.
Fucking Private Frazier, ready to rip.
No doubt. And then you go from what?
So right after that, you get shipped out to different schools. So like, if you're an 0311, so if you're infantry or any 03 trade, you go immediately to infantry school. If you're anybody but infantry, you go to MCT, which is another version of infantry school. It's just it's watered down, essentially.
Okay.
Because they still want every Marine to be a rifleman. So they still train everybody in infantry tactics. But if you're an actual infantryman, you go through a longer extended school. Yeah. If that makes sense.
What was the hardest part at this point of being in that infantry part, if you were to look back on that?
Well, I mean, dude, I've never shot a gun in my life.
Really? Before that?
No, never seen one, never touched one. So that was a whole new experience. And then your entire life and your entire trade and your entire career is literally based around guns. So
yeah.
That's a whole new thing for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's great because what I learned about guns is the most respectful way to learn about them, because I learned how to break them apart. I learned how to build them. Everything about a gun because they teach you all about it. I mean, that was definitely challenging because I didn't know shit, but definitely a lot more respect for them now. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Which is cool.
You went to infantry school?
Yeah.
After that?
No, so it goes SOI, which is School of Infantry.
You have all these crazy nicknames that I don't know. I'm like, dude,
I'm trying to follow along and make sure I get it.
As I was saying, there's a million different names for these things. You're like Z2. I was at Z2Y, and then I was like a O12 and left for BXY camp, and I'm like, I don't know what any of that means.
.474.
Sure.
Yeah, all that shit. No,
that's good. So I'll just nod my.
So,
you know what I'll do for the rest of this podcast, because I know you're gonna do it again, because you're just military, dude. Is whenever you say like 03, I'm just gonna be like this.
Yeah. I got you, bro.
I got you.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure, dude. 03.
Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah. All right. So
SOI is School of Infantry.
Okay, that's where you're at after boot camp.
Yeah. And you guys gotta give me a break a little bit because it's been a while.
Yeah.
So I don't even remember all the fucking acronyms. I really don't. I'm just kind of fucking going with it, but no. Definitely SOI was next for sure. Whatever, it's extended infantry school. You go through infantry tactics. We're not going to get onto that, but
no.
It's essentially like there's like squad level tactics, there's platoon level tactics, larger scale, and then there's company level tactics where you involve like all of the different O3s. Like you involve the machine gunners shooting over you, mortar. It's all like an enveloped infantry. That makes sense?
Yes.
Yeah. So you understand it. You have to be able to understand it all.
Okay.
It's different levels.
Yes. Yeah. So once you get through that, from there, generally you go to your first unit. Because I ended up going into a fast contract, which is technically a special forces unit. It's not like tier 1, like it's not like Navy SEALs and shit or like Rangers. It's Fleet Anti-Terrorism Security Team.
But you're doing missions and shit, like.
So it's it's like essentially like a SWAT team for embassies.
Okay.
That's the best way to probably put it, to be honest with you. So it's again like even more of a micro scale than definitely way more micro than going to an infantry battalion, because that's like larger level infantry. So you're going out with an entire battalion when you deploy. When we go as a fast unit, we deploy as a platoon, so it's only like 30 people.
Okay.
Full level infantry, you deploy with hundreds.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I ended up going into fast. So again, now that I'm fast, I have to go to more schools.
Yep.
Right. So you're talking from boot camp to SOI, you're talking about a year, right? Well, yeah, close to a year. Then I have another school, BSG. So it's Basic Security Guard School. So you learn all about embassy protocol, what deadly force is. Actually, it's probably one of the schools that was more knowledge based than physical, where the other schools were like hiking, like shooting, running around, like fucking digging in the mud, all that shit. This school is more
notebook and pen.
Yeah. There was like actual written tests and pass or fail. Like if you failed out, they just kicked you out, send you a different unit, shit like that.
Really?
It was cool. Yeah, it was good.
Some of the hardest tests you've ever taken?
No, dude. I mean, again, it's the military, bro. So like the day before you're going through the test, the instructor will come out and be like, "Hint, here's all the answers."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they do that shit.
Yeah.
They want you to pass. Like, they're not trying to force people out. So you go through that school, and then I went to my first unit.
Yeah.
And when I got to my first unit, it was actually in Virginia. So it was I was part of Alpha Fast. That's what their unit was called. And then when we get to the unit, went to another school.
Okay. There's a lot of schools before you.
Lot, dude, that's a lot. So I think probably out of because I was in 5 years, I would say probably 2 years of schooling, 3 years of deployments. Literally.
How many times did you go out there?
So I went overseas 3 times. First time was for 8 months. Second time was for 6 months. Last time was for 7 months.
And you probably can't say the locations of these.
Some of them, yeah. I mean, first one was a EURCOM, which was hands down the best deployment. It was so sick, dude. We were based out of Rota, Spain, so southern Spain. That's when I was with FAST. So essentially, the goal is they put you in a centralized location for the Middle East. Essentially, they centralize it. So if anything does happen, you hop on a bird and you go and you respond to different embassies and whatever else.
Okay.
In this case, it was like if let's just say there was a base in Iraq that they wanted to do a ramp up because there was enemy force that they were expecting in the area. They would call a fast unit. They say, "Hey, we need you guys to come in, stand guard, do patrols, like hang out to get more Marines on base."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we did all sorts of stuff like that. It was honestly a blast, dude. Ended up going to Ukraine when I was out there. That was a really big blacklist one. So I still remember this to the day. It was fucking crazy, dude. We're sitting in the barracks, fucking drinking beer, hanging out. Because that, dude,
you got a lot of downtime.
Really, like you do have downtime, and like they would always have like a squad or a certain amount of people on call. So like at all time, like they'd be like, these 2 squads, you guys can't drink tonight.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But then you'd always get a night off. So when you did, it was nice. You go to the gym, fucking rip it up, blah, blah. I remember getting a call like, "Hey, you guys are going to go to Ukraine next week." We're like, "The fuck are we going to Ukraine for? Like, why? Like, what do we need?" Because, I mean, nothing was going on. It's not like now. Obviously, there's a lot of shit going on. This was 2014, 2015, probably end of 2015, I want to say. And, dude, I remember like, why are we going to fucking Ukraine? We're going to train, like, I don't know, all the Ukrainian cadets, so, like, the officers, their main infantry battalion. The Georgians were going to be there. There was all these different like special forces units that were going to go. So I was like, fuck yeah, let's do this. So hop on an AC-130 and
Wait.
11 kill streak.
Hop on an AC-130.
Yeah.
Can you
MW2.
please describe to me what that looks like inside? Because I would love to know.
It's just like the fucking video game.
Just like the
bro.
video
It's fucking
game?
sick.
That's beautiful.
No. So honestly, it's the best bird to fly in my opinion, just because they fly the highest.
Yeah.
Right? So you honestly, it's a whole different level of flying because they don't it's fucking military garbage. They don't circulate the air proper, so you're lightheaded as shit. It's fucking loud as fuck, like the loudest thing you'll ever be in. But there's enough room to when you're up in the air, you can get out of your belts. You can fucking set up a sleeping bag and just pass the fuck out. You're not strapped in. You're on a seat. So people set up hammocks and shit in there. Oh,
Really?
Dude, it's money. It's fucking
That sounds
money.
fire.
That's fire. And it can shoot can it shoot like missiles and shit?
There's some that do. There's some that don't. I think in this specific scenario, we're just trying to get somewhere.
Yeah.
to be
That's
honest with
fair.
you.
Yeah.
But
I would, yeah. I mean,
well, dude, the problem is there's always problems, especially in Road to Spain with planes. So, reason being, the Air Force is our main taxi cab, right? Mm-hmm. But when you are based in Road to Spain, which by the way is like absolutely fucking beautiful, like right when you get off base, like unbelievable beaches, like sick rest, dude, it's one of the most beautiful places I've ever been on Earth, straight up. So, their bird breaks down, their plane breaks down all the time. They land, they're like, oh no, it's not working. Sorry. They go drinking for 3 days. If I had enough time, they're like, all right, yep, it's fixed now. Let's go. Every single time you go to get picked up.
that's
awesome.
yeah, that's
It's
terrifying.
smart though. You can't blame them.
No.
I mean, if it's that beautiful, why not? You know.
Yeah.
Like,
Let's enjoy the view for a couple
Let's 3
more
days, guys. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So, has there ever been? I don't know if I'm jumping ahead here, but has there ever been a time where you said you're more of like a SWAT team, like embassy, protective aspect? Like, have you ever jumped into a situation where it's like hot boy, everybody's firing around, just
okay. So
chaos going on?
So has there been chaotic situations? Absolutely. Have I ever? What you're trying to figure out is if I've ever basically been in a bird or
Where you're
a plane,
running
and
off.
we're fucking fast roping off, and we're getting
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
shot at.
Yeah.
We would no. Somebody's getting fucking fired. Like you are getting fired.
You're in trouble at that point.
Yes, like somebody piss poor planning 100%.
So when you see a movie and you see people doing that never.
Dude, I mean, case by case.
Yeah,
right?
true.
I mean, yeah, maybe there's scenarios, like there is true stories where people are coming in on birds, the birds are getting shot at. Yes, but like that's, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
They try to plan things out. Like they usually they'll be like, oh, this is what we're going to do. Let's try to avoid this.
Yeah.
So like if you know you're going to run into enemy fire, they maybe drop you off like not
Down the street.
not like in
Yeah.
the middle of it.
Yeah.
Or like they'll be like, hey, let's put them at the highest point, or like let's.
Yeah.
They try to do that.
My bad, dude.
So no, dude.
All right, let's go back to Ukraine. You said you had a funny story about Ukraine.
Oh, plenty. Dude, so we were there for 3 weeks. It was just basically to train them. So this is like my really big eye-opening experience with this unit because we got in the beautiful fucking AC-130, took a nice little nap over there. Mm-hmm. We landed and there's like paparazzi all over the place and this fucking sketchy, like weird landing strip. Not an airport, just some random landing strip. I'm like, what the fuck? So he's like, everyone, I remember like Toon Sergeant comes out, he's like, dude, take your fucking name tapes off. Take your shirts off because we all have like our name on it. So
Yeah.
US Marine's name. Our packs had our last
Oh,
name.
because they were going to snag them.
Yeah, they didn't want us taking pictures to find out our names because, again, like Ukrainian, Russian deal, like there's a lot of sketchy shit that goes on even in the U.S. with that. And like there's nothing stopping them figuring out who the fuck I am. Frazier going on my fucking Facebook and telling my family that I'm going to kill them, whatever.
That's
Yeah,
smart.
but that's fair.
Smart.
Smart for them.
We got off, we got into that, we got in this bus, dude, like a school bus from the goddamn 70s. It was a piece of shit. Right. So again, you would think like when you land somewhere to go help train a country, they're gonna like put you in a nice, like beautiful,
Little Peter Pan bus.
yeah,
No.
some AC. And shit.
No.
Fuck no, absolutely not. So we get in this bus, we strip down to our skivvies. So skivvies is like the undergarments of our uniform, so little short shorts, green shirt, and we're all sitting there with our fucking rifles on a bus and our skivvies, and we're just like, where the fuck are we going, right? We hear fucking gunshots, fucking people screaming, just like some shitty like town in Ukraine, right?
Damn.
No idea what was going on. We're like, okay, this is gonna be a real interesting one,
Yeah.
right? So we're in like this like what they call a pinch point. So like somewhere where like you're trapped, right? We're in this bus and we're trapped. We're at a pinch point, and the bus driver gets out to go smoke a cigarette, right?
Oh,
All
hell
right,
nah.
so let me slow you down real quick. There's gunshots around you. There's a paparazzi there. You didn't land in a landing strip. You're in a pinch point. What is going through your head right now? Like, are you actually like laughing it off at this point?
That sounds like a setup.
It doesn't really. Now I think it doesn't really hit you until the aftermath. Like,
Really?
At the time, it's like we're just another normal day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, really. Like it's kind of fucked up to say, but yeah, it was another normal situation. It was weird, right?
Yeah.
So we're always ready for something, but we weren't prepared in this situation, right?
Yeah.
I guess this is maybe your hot boy deal, right?
Okay. Yeah.
This could be a little.
Yeah.
This could, I don't know what hot boy is, but we could be a little hot boy right now, right?
Well,
Yeah.
tension definitely rises.
Yeah.
Like you stop, the bus stops, like the driver just goes smokes a cigarette
Oh, it's
outside.
dead
It's
silent.
like it's like, okay, what's gonna happen here?
Yeah, like why? Like
Why?
There was dead silence on the bus too.
Yeah, like first of all, it's Ukraine. Like you think we're in a 70 shitbox bus, smoke the fucking cigarette in the bus,
Yeah.
yeah. Right. Seriously.
Yeah.
right? Like we're
Yeah.
not gonna be like,
Yeah.
hey man, can you stop and smoke that up? No, we're not saying that. So, dude, right away, my fucking platoon sergeant stands up, walks outside. Again, don't know what he said, wasn't next to him, but that motherfucker got right back in the bus.
Yeah.
Don't know what happened, but he got right back in the bus. But so we ended up going over there. We live in like tents for a few weeks. Like it's like a big tent city.
Yeah.
So again, Ukraine, scary ass language, just like Russian, very very similar. So sleeping at night was fucking terrifying because you hear them arguing, bickering, and it's like, dude, what the fuck? Because it's the most aggressive like language in the world.
So are you scared constantly? Not scared, but on edge constantly?
Yeah, I mean, so let me explain this. This is why they do such a good job in the military. So there's an age gap for a reason, especially in the infantry, because you have to be so young and dumb to do things like this.
Yeah.
Right? You really do. And all they're training you in boot camp is discipline and to listen. And all they're doing in training you in infantry is how to become a mean fighting machine, how to kill people.
Yeah.
That's what the goal is. So you're disciplined to literally kill people, and you're 18, 19 years old, and that's all your focus is, and that's all you know. That's all you've been doing for the last, how long, 2 years?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So was I nervous? Yeah, but like in my head at the time, I'm like, I don't give a fuck.
You didn't
Like, let's just
realize-
fucking do,
Yeah.
like everyone was like that. That's because we were young enough to listen and just go along with everything we've been learning.
So you didn't realize it until after?
No, fuck no, dude. Like, I mean, you get out, or like you do 2 or 3 deployments. I'm on my 3rd deployment. I'm like, holy fuck, I didn't give a fuck what we were doing.
Yeah.
I didn't get like the scenarios we were in. Like, I didn't care. Like, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Is that where the PTSD comes in for people?
what, like actually, like the aftermath of like
Like,
realizing
well, you
shit?
said you didn't realize it until like after, when you look back and you're like, damn. Like, do you think?
Oh yeah, for sure. Because I mean, I think PTSD is definitely an aftermath factor where like years down the road it starts to get to you. That's why 22 a day. I don't know if you guys have heard of that.
Yeah.
So like 22 suicides a day for
5
veterans.
Yeah.
It's real.
I saw that
And
graph and it was climbing, wasn't it?
Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
like it's an issue, and I think it plays a massive factor because you again like it's things that constantly replay in your head, and you're going back to when you're 18, 19 years old, just doing some sick shit,
Yeah.
and you don't realize at the time because you're just a mean fighting machine. Like
Yeah.
you're just doing your job, and you don't understand why you're doing that job or what you're doing it for.
Yeah.
But it feels right because
Yeah.
everything you've learned in training makes it feel like you're doing the right thing,
Yeah.
no matter what it is.
There's almost like a goal, it sounds like, where you're like so focused on it. And this is like me really dumbing it down, but you're so focused on what you're supposed to do there that none of that shit like catches on until after.
Yeah.
Fuck no, dude, it's crazy. And that's,
That's really cool
it's their planning.
yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
why they do it.
That's a great perspective that I've never heard before.
This might be jumping ahead a little bit, but is there any like triggers you have now that kind of brings you back to a certain moment or reminds you like, oh, that happened to me, like when you were deployed, that are in your daily life?
Not necessarily, man. I think a lot of people react differently to different situations. You know? Like I got buddies I deploy with that are like completely different than the way I reacted to things. It's just how you take things in and how you some people can't take things in, some people can. Like seeing in any role, it doesn't necessarily have to be military, dude. Like even like EMS first responders, man, seeing your first dead body, Like, that's something you don't, like, you can't fathom. Like, some people just can't do it. But then if you do it every day, it's like, oh, okay, like, that's, it becomes a normal. It doesn't go out of your baseline. But there's no way of knowing how each person's going to react to that until they get put in that situation.
True.
And it doesn't make somebody weak or at all. Like, I have 100% like respect for everybody that does anything in that trade, like first responders, everything. I think that's the biggest source of PTSD, to be real with you. Because right now there hasn't been much combat. There really hasn't. I think most combative situations obviously was, probably 01 to 2010.
Yeah.
01, 2008. That's that big group of vets that, like, they went through some shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got first responders. You got the EMS. I can't imagine working in the city seeing some EMS shit. That's the deeper level of, I think, like the actual post-traumatic stress.
That's very interesting.
That's where it comes from. I really do. Because anyone can have PTSD. Anyone can. It doesn't. You don't have to necessarily be a first responder in the military. Like, there can be a really messed up situation in your life when you were a little kid, and you're, I hate to get this fucking dark, but your dad's, feeling you up, and you have sexual abuse growing up as a kid. Those people have just as bad or just as worse. You never know what situation anyone's in.
Yeah, post-traumatic stress disorder.
Yeah, you never know.
I think it gets tagged a lot from the military.
Yeah,
it gets coined, but that couldn't be any more true.
Oh yeah, it's awareness with everything.
No, I think that's probably one of the
100%.
best insights we've had on this podcast. Is someone saying something like that,
especially Taylor, man.
Yeah, and for everyone else, like, that's coming from a person who's been deployed multiple, like 3 times, you said.
Yeah, three.
And that perspective on PTSD is massive, I think, for anyone listening.
Yeah,
because you can just go through something traumatic, like most of our guests come on here.
Yeah,
and go through, and it could happen to them.
Yep.
And that doesn't mean, you're in the military or anything. It's just something that happened in your life.
100%. Did the bus make it?
What do you think?
It did.
Well, he's here. So,
he is here.
Yeah, it was just funny. So that's a culture shock, dude. Again, like anywhere we go, it's always culture shocks, man. That was one of my biggest culture shocks for sure.
Ukraine.
Oh yeah, dude, for sure.
Where'd you go after that?
After Ukraine.
Or how long were you there, and then where did you go after that?
That was towards the end of that deployment. I think we went to Sweden after that, but Ukraine was definitely the biggest culture shock.
Yeah.
Dude, I just, to this day, I always remember this fucking,
There's a video of you showing somebody how to shoot a machine gun.
Oh, PKM.
Yeah.
So cadence when you shoot a machine gun, and when you pull the trigger, you're supposed to, like, say in your head or say out loud to get a cadence going. You're supposed to go, die, motherfucker, die. Release, die, motherfucker, die. It's a good suppression rate between machine guns. So I was teaching.
A lot of people in this world should think that you should change that language because it might be offensive to people.
It might be.
Hey, put him in his shoes. See what happens.
Yeah. I'm just kidding.
They like that. It's funny. Yeah, so I had to show him how to do fire rate, and I said, give me your PKM, and he didn't believe me I could shoulder fire it, so my buddy took a video of it. It was pretty funny.
Yeah.
It's cool. It was a great experience. He gave me, like, his machine gunner pin from his hat. This dude was awesome, man. Mm-hmm. I ended up emailing that kid for, like, 2 years. He ended up dying fighting Russia. Like, no shit. Like, because they ended up going out, like, probably 6 months after we trained them, and all of a sudden the email stopped. I'm like, fuck, bro.
Damn.
Fuck, bro, it sucks. He would send me some fucked up shit, like real crazy, like, combat videos of, like, it was messed up. Like, I definitely should not have been emailing him anymore.
Yeah.
But I was, and it was.
Damn, and he just, dude, that's, like, fucked up in itself. Like, you just emailing somebody and you just stopped emailing.
Oh yeah, I'm sad. I mean, again, do I know he died? No, but I'm assuming. I'm honest.
I feel like that's a fair assumption.
Yeah, I think he did. Good dude though.
Mm.
Have you lost anybody, like, in your squad that you were in?
Not squad specific, no. Dude.
And once again, if you don't want to answer something, just fucking...
no. I can kind of get onto that, dude. It's so sadly, I've been to more services than I wanted to. You know what I mean? That's where I'll kind of leave it at. Even recently, that's what's actually now that you say it, I do have a form, I think, where there's something that triggers me. We were talking about it earlier. You were asking me, and I really couldn't figure it out. Yeah, I think like even recently, Derek Kaplinger, great kid, he
Yeah.
recently passed away, and being at his service, man, like, yes, obviously I knew him well, and he's a great dude, and very, very tough loss. But it also, that's where I think it triggered like other things, man. Where like, so I'm like, fuck, dude, I remember going to that service, and like that's where like I think that's the point where
Yeah.
you were trying to ask me about earlier. I think that's what it is.
100%.
So like I don't like them at all. No, I mean nobody does, right?
No.
But I think that's the and then, again, other people have that same exact feeling, man. It's not just me.
No, I have
Right.
that same feeling. I mean, I remember when Pat Mayer died, he was in my grade, and I went into like his service, like thinking it was just like, it sucks, it's sad, whatever. And then after that, dude, like we went out like the next weekend at school, like had some drinks in me, was really hungover. And then I saw something of his pop up, and I literally had an anxiety attack after that. I was like, just shook. Like because like what you said earlier of like, you don't fathom it until like after.
Yeah.
I was just sitting there and I was like, damn, dude, like that's horrible. And then, the hangover kicks in. Anxiety is like a big thing. A lot of people say it, but like that was it to a T, where I was just like, damn, like that shit had me messed up. And like, I haven't seen him in a while, but still, like, I think what's common about me and you is like, we care about people. Like, I just genuinely care about people. And like, that's what bothers me is like, that's like probably a trigger for me is like funerals and wakes. Like, I don't like when I see that.
Yeah, I really don't think anyone does.
No,
There's definitely
no, but other people get like, I get more
there's
shook
different,
up about
there's
it.
different ways of looking at things too. Like again, normality, right? It's a normal thing that happens in life. Yes, it's just really difficult when there's abnormal deaths. Where, like, there's a young person that passes away, or unexpected deaths. Like, and I mean, yes, again, like grandparents passing away, like that's. There's different ways to cope with it. Great, you could have an incredible relationship with them for many years, but it was, their time to go, or like you knew it was coming down the road. It's a little easier to nothing's easy to cope with, but it's a different situation.
Yeah, I think for me, it's more of like someone's life was cut short and it wasn't in their hands most of the time.
100%.
That's what would get me at least.
Yeah.
And I mean, in your line of work too, that tends to happen more often than not.
Yeah. Yep.
So, I mean,
Yeah, and you look at it as like it's unfair, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
And I think what's difficult, which I'm super grateful I never ran into this situation where you're in a firefight, or you're in a shitty situation, and
You're good.
I caught that though.
Adjust.
You're in a. Yeah, just wait a second. I forgot. Dre knows how to edit things.
Damn, I need to put deodorant on.
You smelly.
Yeah.
It's probably 'cause I was fucking with the cord.
Probably. We'll just hope that the mic's good.
Or was I?
You're good.
Yeah, you should be fine.
You said
caught
you're
it.
not in a, you've never been in a situation where blah, blah, blah.
Oh yeah, so no, I'm super grateful that I've never been put in a situation where like I wasn't like you're in a firefight and the guy next to you was support by fire covering you to make movement or do something, and then you get shot in the head. Like I've never been put in that situation, and there is numerous people that have. That's a different type to deal with, right?
Yeah.
Because then you feel like you're held responsible for it.
Yeah.
Again, not just military, any other things. Just things like that. Driving a vehicle behind, like you're behind the
100%,
wheel,
yeah.
and you don't die. The person in the passenger seat does. Like there's shit like that just fucking happens.
Yeah.
And it's fucked up, and it's not fair.
No.
But again, I don't want to I don't want to go on a super dark road, but there is different ways of coping with it. Like everyone has their different methods, right? That's where like it comes even key into like this podcast and why you guys are doing this, and it's cool because that's really why we're doing this, right? To spread the word of how to deal with certain things, right? How to get prepared for things. I mean, I personally, at the time, not much anymore, but I was heavily involved in the gym. That was my coping method. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just fucking put the headphones in, lift as hard as I could, and just move on. That's how I got my stress out.
Yeah.
No, now it's differently. Now I'm in a little different scenario where I don't have time to do that.
Yeah.
So I take my drives, man. Like going to work, coming home from work, man. I have my nice peaceful time listening to music. Music's my coping method. I mean, everyone has their own in all different forms of life, and mine's music right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great way of putting it too. I mean, like you said, this podcast is for people that get insight on you, the guest, right? And once in a while, me and Dretta, when we're talking, and then people learn stuff about me nobody probably realized that I've had an anxiety attack before. Nobody really has realized what triggers Taylor, or how Alex does this, how it, so like everybody's human at the end of the day, and I think it's good to learn from each other from different perspectives and sides of things. But yeah, man, are we after Ukraine at this point in the story? Or were you in Iraq at one point?
Yeah, same deployment.
What is Iraq like?
Depends where you're at. There's beautiful parts, dude. Kuwait's fucking beautiful.
Really?
Oh yeah, Kuwait's incredible, man. It all depends where you're at. There's
Yeah.
shitholes like anywhere, dude. Like fucking California. Shitty parts of California is
That's
beautiful.
true.
Yeah.
It all depends where you're at. Just to be real. I think after that I was in Cuba.
Cuba.
Ooh,
That was an interesting.
That's interesting.
That was a very Guantanamo Bay.
Oh, that's even more
You were in
interesting.
Guantanamo Bay?
Yeah, for 6 months.
Dude, that's like...
Oh yeah, it was
Yeah.
some crazy shit. There's some fun stuff too. Really fucking fun stuff. So we were.
Were you near like the prison?
We were the armed forces for the base, so we were protecting the base. So we
with
were
the
on-
prisoners inside of the base?
So there's a prison within the base, and then there's a outer security, like the actual fence line between
Yeah.
the countries, and we were on the fence line. The Marines guard the fence line, and then the Army has the prison.
Wow.
So we were on the fence line. Dude, it fucking, like some of the shit, you just won't believe it, bro. Like you really won't. And a lot of this stuff isn't exposed. It really isn't, because a lot of people don't know about Guantanamo.
Well, can you expose it? Is it legal?
No, I mean, I don't give a fuck. I will. I could talk all day about it.
It's up to you.
Yeah,
Like,
but
I
it's
don't
like,
want
am I going to get a knock with like 3 guys with headsets tomorrow being like, yo?
No, dude, I don't like.
Nah.
I have like a lot of this shit. Like I had a lot of really weird stuff on my phone from years ago that's gone, which is probably for a good reason. But no, that base. So by the way, Guantanamo was absolutely beautiful, absolutely gorgeous, man. Like the most clear water I've ever seen in my life. The beaches were awesome. So again, we had very little downtime. Like, so I don't know if you want me to explain the schedule while we're out there. It's pretty.
Yeah, whatever you
The
feel.
floor is yours, man.
Yeah.
So we so basically there's a sorry, I want to be factual, but it's been years and I don't remember how long it is, but there's a very long fence line, miles on a very large fence line, and within parameters of those miles there's certain posts. You have all these different posts where Marines stand with their equipment, their rifles, their optics, like everything, right? So basically there's 2 units on base, 2 Marine Corps units on base, both fast teams. I think at the time we split our fast unit, so it was all alpha, but there's 2 sides of the island. So the fence line, legitimately a fence line, like with barbed wire and shit. And there's posts everywhere. So our schedule would be you stand post for 8 hours. You go on react force, which is essentially you sit in a room with your squad waiting for something to happen. So like you have like riot shields ready, you have tear gas ready, you have all that shit ready at all times, and you're literally just, if they call out, you fucking hop in the gun truck and you go. And then you go back on post for 8 hours, and then you get 12 hours of rest, and then you go back on post.
It's a lot of standing,
That's
though.
a grinder.
Dude, it's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough because like yes, you can sleep when you're on react, but you're not sleeping the whole time, bro.
No.
Because they'll do like random like ramp ups, so they'll be like, all right, we need 2 guys on post, we need this, blah blah, we need somebody at the front gate. Like you get a call fucking 2 a.m. and it depends on what shift you get on. You start, dude. So like, it's all scheduled, right? So like if you start balls to 8, 12 midnight to 8 a.m. and then you're on react during the day, you're trying to sleep during the day, and then you're back on post that night, dude. Try to stay awake at fucking 3, 4 in the morning. That's where like you get your camaraderie, bro. That's where like you got fucking, you're just talking shit on the radios. You're fucking keeping each other awake, dude. That's where the real friendships happen. Like, really, like during the shittiest times is where you.
Really?
Oh yeah, that's dude. My best friends. I can pick a random one of my buddies on his phone right now. They'd answer the phone. We'd shoot the shit for fucking hours talking about stupid shit.
That's funny because, like,
And I haven't talked to him in years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
a lot of people probably feel that you find your brothers during, like, crazy situations, blah, blah, blah. But
Dude, the worst times, bro.
You find them at the worst times.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Shitty times bring good company, man, for sure. There's no doubt. Because
Quote it.
there's no way to get through it. You need good company during the worst times,
Yeah.
man. Like they'd bring out like even like service dogs and stuff like on post. Like chaps would come out. Why am I blanking out? Chaps is the chaplain, like the of the church. Like, he would come out to post and like check on the guys and stuff.
Yeah. Damn, Guantanamo Bay.
Yeah, so it was cool. Good time. 6 months of shitty rotations like that. It beats you up. Like I They would try to rotate it, but I spent months on ball shift, and then you got to try to like shift back to like not sleeping during the day. Dude, that fucked me up. Like that actually like it's to this day I have insomnia probably from that deployment. Like straight up, it's bad. No, really,
I'm
man.
sorry,
Like,
I don't mean to laugh.
no,
but,
it's true. Like those schedules are bad. Like it was tough, man.
Can you get a little deeper into them? Like, how was your mentality during those times? Like, were you on like caffeine like 24/7? Like,
Yeah.
How much chewing tobacco did you?
you know
use?
what I
That's the
mean?
thing. That's where it's like where like the nicotine addiction. That shit's real. 'Cause that's the only way to stay awake, bro. Just fucking put a fat chaw in and just get through it. 2 You have to like time it out too. Like so you'd be like, I mean, luckily at the time I started on post, but then I became a corporal of the guard. So basically, I would drive around in a truck and I'd go to each post all night and check on each guy, have them do the reporting procedure, like let me know their lat and long limits of what their shooting sector was, like all that stuff. We go through it all. We check their optics, see if there's batteries in it. We check their weapons. Like it's basically like a health check for each post. So I was doing that for months at end. So I'm in the truck going back and forth, checking on people, bringing them food, bringing them dip, bringing them. So I'm basically like, it's a leadership role, but it sucks. But it's not. There's pros and cons to it, right? Like, would you rather be standing in the same fucking 15 by 15
100% or driving?
Post? Like some of them are fucking 80 feet in the air. Some of them are 20 feet, depending on how the land lays.
Yeah.
Right.
And this is a 12-hour.
It's a 8-hour post, 12-hour react, 8-hour.
How tedious was that?
Oh, it was fucking horrible, dude. Well, it was. You gotta think. This isn't for a week, bro. This is for fucking 6 months.
Was there ever a time where you're just like, what am I doing here?
Oh, all the time, dude.
Really?
Your thoughts at fucking 3 a.m. Are you kidding me? You're on post at 3 a.m. Like, why the fuck would I do this?
Yeah. Did you take it lightly like that, or were you just serious?
One, I don't get paid enough to do this.
Yeah.
Like, fuck, not even close. 2, there's no justification for it at times. You're like, there's nobody in front of me. Like, you really just see nothing for fucking miles. And then there's another little post with literally a Cuban on the other side in his post, looking right at you. And you guys are just, fuck you, bro. Like, no, it sucked. Like, that was not a good time at all.
That's awesome.
Not a good time. Guantanamo's a fucking crazy place, and there's a lot of dark shit that happens there.
Yeah.
So there's a place called Camp America. And please, nobody don't quote me on time frames here because I'm not a huge fact guy. But there was a base in the 90s. Probably later than that, earlier than that. I don't know. Whatever. There was an original base. It was called Camp America, original prison system. It was called Camp America within Guantanamo. From there, they take terrorists or whatever, blacklisted, terrorism organizations, and they put them in this fucking prison. This prison is literally a dog kennel. I am not fucking with you. Like, it is we did a tour of it. We drove by it all the time. It's still under investigation to this day.
Yeah.
It's still there to this day. It is, I would say, roughly 1,200 by 1,200 feet. Like, it's like just a big fucking fence line. And within that fence line, there's dog kennels. There's 10 by 6 kennels where where they would stay. They would sleep outdoors. And then there was guard posts surrounding this fence line. And the guards would stand there facing in, which is very strange.
Yeah, I mean,
because you think any guard post usually faces out of the fence line. They're facing in.
Yeah.
And then ration wise and their food and everything else like that. I mean, that's like old history details that I can't remember and claim to you, but the living conditions were not good.
That's crazy.
Right. Again, it depends who you are as a human being. Personally, I don't give a fuck. Fuck them. They can rot and die. I don't care.
Yeah.
I really don't. Because if they did something bad enough to be in that situation, they can kill themselves. I don't care.
Yeah,
I know
probably
it's fucked up to say
it.
that, but I don't care.
Yeah.
So that all changed. Democratic Party came in. Don't quote me on the year. Okay. They came in and they said, like, we need to change this. Are they right? Yes. Like it's pretty fucked up. Like it's a fucked up living situation, and there is obviously rules. Like there's rules, like even with POW, prisoners of war. Like there's legitimately rules that need to be followed. So there wasn't much insight on this camp. A lot of people didn't know about it. It wasn't like a big publicity thing, right? Until it came out that how fucked up it was.
Yeah.
And again, not a huge publicity thing.
No.
It was kind of like low key, and they had to create a new base. Yeah. Sorry, a new prison. So now this prison is the nicest facility.
They went to the
the nicest facility in the world. TVs, living spaces with like mutual. It's like a fucking college, dude. Right? It's a college, right?
You still there during this transition? Or
So the transition happened during the Obama period, early Obama. So it would have been like, what, 2010, 2011? Maybe even earlier than that, right? I'm trying to think.
no, you were in high school in 2010.
Yeah, but this is when it was.
Oh,
this is when the
yeah.
transition was
Oh,
happening.
okay. I follow you. Yep,
You know what I mean?
yep.
So it was they were transitioning to this new prison system. So that's what forced them out into there.
Yeah.
So this is where the kind of crazy shit happens. This is where the crazy story happens. So
Hit me.
So this original Camp America, there's obviously really bad people that went there. So the only thing you're allowed in any prisoner of war situation is the right to. Again, I'm not the best with rules. And everything else.
No. Go
ahead.
ahead.
But food, ration, everything else, and your right to religion. Like no one can stop you at any point in prisoner of war to not pray or in your beliefs and everything else. So what they would do is they would have their gatherings to practice their religion. So there'd be a group setting of people to practice their religion at the same time, and then within that time period, they were forming a terrorist organization. Not going to, say specifically of what terrorist organization this is, but it's a very large one that had a very large impact specifically on the early 2000s. And I don't know if you knew what happened was there was another Democratic Party. Sorry, I don't want to get too political, but there's another party that at some point in that time period said, we need to release these people because they've been on good behavior. They've done this. Like this guy only did this, so we should release him back.
Yeah.
Where do they release him to?
Wherever they're from, is what I'm guessing.
You would think that. No, they released him back to the U.S.
Oh.
Because they were technically on our soil. And it's tough. That's why Cuba is weird. Guantanamo is weird because it's technically not U.S. soil, so they can do a lot more shit to terrorists in that camp, like torture and everything else, and get away with waterboarding and fucked up stuff. Yeah. Because it's a rental space. It's technically not U.S. property.
Wow.
And that's how it's one of those borderlines, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, essentially that's where it all began. That's one of the largest terrorist organizations.
And you were there.
Started right in Guantanamo. Well, yeah, I was not during that time.
No, yeah, but you've seen it.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's a true story, dude. It's fucking crazy.
How long were you there again?
6 months.
6 months?
Yeah.
That's a long time. That's a long ass time.
6 months. Probably felt like, what, 2 years?
Yeah, it sucked. That was probably, that might have been the worst one, honestly.
Yeah.
It really was, I think. Situationally wise, like, no. Like, I mean, you knew what you were doing every day. It was, the same thing. But, dude, there's some fucking crazy stuff out there, man. So we would, with any deployment, you still have to constantly train. You want to keep up, like, any skill or anything you do, even, like, any sport. Like, you're always constantly training. Shooting drills or, clearing houses. Like we just bring a squad and clear an empty house out, just practicing different ways of capturing houses and capturing like targets and everything else. And there was this one time we went out to the range on base on Guantanamo, and we ended up doing a night shoot. So we're out in the gun trucks on like this hill because they were doing it was like a long range shoot, and we had like our specialty shooters. They were doing like they're not snipers technically, but they're like a specialty gunman part of our unit, and we end up shooting at night and going to sleep. And I remember looking out, dude, and there's this hill where we were shooting at, and there's fucking just like dots all on this hill. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, what are these dots? It's all tarantula eyes.
What the fuck?
Right? So I'm like, bro, like these things like around here? Like, what? We're oh, dude, we have like very nice bivy sacks. It's like a sack that goes over your face, dude. Just fucking all night, man. Just all over me, dude.
Tarantulas?
Oh yeah, you wake up in the middle of the night, and just feel fucking fist on you, bro.
Oh my god.
Oh my.
Erin, my girlfriend Erin would have died right then and there.
So the amount of wildlife out there is hilarious, man. So like, just a quick story. So there's what do they call? They call them banana rats, dude. So it's like this, it's like a 3 foot, well, including the tail, probably like 4 foot, like this fucking rat, dude. I don't know why they were called banana rats, but they were like this fucking wide, and they were just these nasty rats, dude. It's so fucking bad. But in the middle of the night, they'd scream like this, like horrible scream, dude. So there's a story, and I believe it's post Dolphin. I think it was called Dolphin. It was the weird ass names for each post, and I think it was called Dolphin. And like, it's the closest post to the Cuban city, and it's the most you get the most action because of the water flow. So like Kaz which is a Cuban asylum seeker. So people actually try to get onto our base because the moment they get onto our base, they're now technically on a form of U.S. soil. So then we have to hold them. There's all form of like prisoner exchanges we do. There's all crazy shit we do. But this specific post was the closest. And there's a story of the woman in white. So if you know anything about Guantanamo and the base, how the way it's set up, it's basically all old minefields that they claim most of them were swept, like most. So that's always a great feeling, right? You never know. Like, and most of the mines were on the fence line. So you never fucking know. It's great, right? So it's on both. There's fucking minefields everywhere. So there's a story of the woman in white, and she's a Cuban asylum seeker, and she's trying to come over to the base. And it's funny because supposedly, I shouldn't say it's funny. It's not really funny at all. But she got her legs blown off in a white dress, and the story is that she's covered in red and she's screaming because her fucking legs got blown off. Right?
Is this a true?
Yes.
Okay.
But this
so
is,
I definitely shouldn't have laughed.
This
at
was.
that.
I know. That's why I was like, this really isn't funny. But I'm trying to get to why
my
it is
bad,
funny.
my bad.
Not while we were there. This is an old.
I thought this was a tale.
This is an old story. It is.
Yep.
Could be a form of a tale.
Okay.
Supposedly it's true. Again, don't quote me on this.
Yeah.
But it's the myth.
Yeah.
Right? So this is what happened on that post. So everyone believes this post is very, very haunted from the woman in the white. So again, it's fucking 3 a.m. And I mean, you've never felt so much dead silence. And I don't know if you guys have ever been in pure dead silence.
Yeah,
but it is the most fucked up feeling, and it's scary. Like, it strips. I hate it. That's like one of my biggest fears is dead silence. Freaks me the fuck out. So dead silent, and there's myths that you can, one, hear the woman in white scream.
Oh my gosh.
And two, you can see her because it's the woman in white. And dude, I mean, there's obviously buddies joke, or they say they heard her, they say they saw her, but again, there's banana rats.
How about you?
No, I never stood dolphin. Fuck that. I never stood that post.
Oh, yeah.
I was a corporal of the guard. I didn't pick that one.
Yeah.
No, but so the banana rats would scream at night. So that's, I think, the biggest factor. And they're like, the banana rats would have sex and like make these crazy fucking noises. No, it was fucked up.
Oh my God.
So to this day, like, we think it's the banana rats, but
yeah, you never know.
The woman in white, man.
Yeah.
So again, what we do, we'd be 3 a.m. so you keep people awake. Bro, did you hear that?
Everybody's listening.
Did I hear what? Yeah. Dude, I fucking saw her, dude. I saw her, bro. I come up on the post, dude. I'd run up to the fucking post to fuck with them. Dude, did you see that? Did you see what? Dude, she's there. And then,
that's
dude,
awesome.
Again, are you gonna sleep after that?
No.
Fuck no. Dude, you're ready to rip. The moment you hear anything, again, you hear a little tarantula crawl up the fucking stairs, I'd be freaking out.
Damn.
You just gotta keep the fear going to keep them awake, right?
Yeah. Damn. That's crazy. So
that is crazy.
I think a good question that I want to know is, was there ever a time where it was a Tuesday or, name a random date and time where you're just like, all the people in the United States right now that are like partying it up or doing this or doing that, and you're just sitting there and you're just like, what the heck, man?
Oh, yeah. I mean, dude, I think early stages, like when you're, 18, 19, 20, and you're out there and you're like, dude, I could just be fucking ripping up with the boys.
Yeah.
Be playing some ball, fucking, coming home from practice, drinking some fucking beer, like you think of that. You're like, why didn't I do that?
Yeah.
Why didn't I go play fucking D3 baseball? Like, why didn't I do that? Like, why didn't, like, why didn't I go have some fun? Like, for sure. That always runs through everyone's mind. And that's where a lot of regret and depression comes from, dude.
Yeah.
For sure. But again, with dark times comes good company, man. That's how you make it out, dude, is the people that I would not have made it out if the people, like my friends.
Yeah.
Like straight up, like the most memorable moments of my life has been with those people, man.
Yeah.
Like, good and bad, dude. Like the amount of funny, crazy shit we've done. And that's the thing is like, we missed out on I don't know. I never went to college, so I don't know what the actual like frat life or the party life was like. I never experienced that. But I know for sure when we got back from deployment, we fucking ripped it up, dude.
You made up for lost time.
And that's the problem.
Hey, made up
and that's why so many Marines get in trouble is because you're fucking you're cuffed up, bro. And the moment you get back to the States, or the moment you get out of training, it's like, all right, let's go drink fucking, let's be Edward 40 hands and get absolutely fucking hammered and go somewhere.
A little
Which is
FOMO.
absolutely horrible absolutely horrible method, not a good way to drink, but we did it. And that's how the craziest moments of my life happened, for sure.
Damn.
So
That's crazy.
Yeah. Switching back to a lighter side of things. I know we had that good story though about the lady in the white. But what would you say to somebody who's looking to enlist into the Marine Corps?
Specifically the Marine Corps?
Well, maybe specifically your side of things, like your what's it called, company
like infantry?
Infantry, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna suck. But again, dude, like, I know earlier I said I kind of regretted some things, but to be honest with you, I really don't, because it changed who I was as a person, 100%. There's multiple things in my life that have changed me as a person, but it's definitely one of the biggest factor. It made me an 18-year-old man. I was an 18-year-old fucking man. I mean, it was different, right? It sucks because you grow up a lot faster than you want to, but all it's done for me now is help me develop as a leader and as a person. You know, like I'm now a project manager, and I think the only reason I am a project manager now is because I was in the infantry, and I went through these stressful experiences, and I can handle stress better now because of that. You know, where like if I went to college, I mean, which I did, I still actually do go to school, but if I was just going to school when I was 18, you know, in a business major, like, yes, I think it's really great, but I may not have had those managerial skills I have now because of the situations I was in when I was younger.
Yeah, and your experience.
Yeah.
No one has experiences like that who's going to college.
Yeah, so, like, I think, like, someone trying to get into or looking into specifically the infantry, like, just expect it. It's going to be the worst thing you'll probably ever do in your life, mentally, physically, and everything, but it's going to pay off.
Yeah.
It's what you make of it. Like anything else, it's what you make of it. 100%.
Is there pride? Like, how much do you count like pride for? Like, knowing that you're enlisted to protect and serve for the United States. Like, was that a driving factor for you, or not necessarily? And
well,
it honestly couldn't have. You know, if it's okay if it wasn't. Like, I'm just curious.
I mean, people go into the military for millions of different reasons.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
For sure. The initial intent, I wasn't like so fucking pro-America, I want to serve my country. That wasn't my initial intent. I think I was just lost at the time, really, honestly. It's not that I'm not. I'm very pro. I love America. I'm very patriotic. But, at the time, I don't think that was the driving reason, no.
I was just curious,
I think when you're in, too, you don't recognize it and you don't feel it because you're surrounded by it.
Yeah.
You don't feel it until you come back home and you're not around it as much.
Yeah.
Because when you're on base, dude, everyone's in the fucking military.
Yeah.
Everyone around you, every surrounding town, like, dude, like, it's outrageous how big these bases are. Everyone you see is in either the Army, Marine Corps, like, you see them all.
Yeah.
And there's nothing like that. When you come home, it's like, people are like, oh, this, you know, Taylor's home, the Marines home, because it's a very limited amount of people, right?
Yeah.
You got, like, you know, what, maybe like 5 or 6 people that were in the service that you graduated with, right? So it's like a little different feeling. You come home and it's like, you kind of feel good. You do. You feel good, man. It's cool.
Yeah.
Because, like, people like, you know, you guys, like, you're obviously very pro-America. You're patriotic people. You know, you love our country. And the first thing you think is like, yeah, dude, my boy's back from the Marine Corps, bro. Let's go party up. Let's see him. Like, that's a cool feeling. It really is. And that's, like, again, that helps with the 22 a day, dude.
Yeah.
Like, if you have any friends that are in the service or were in the service, like, you don't have to be like, thank you for your service, brother. Like, you don't have to do that crap, but take them out. Like, go have some drinks with him. Like, talk to him about shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, just have a conversation.
Yeah, like,
right?
make him feel like a normal human being. Don't, like, push him aside because he's like, this dude's been fucking doing some weird, crazy military stuff.
Does that thank you for your service ever piss you off?
No. I mean, it's not going to piss you off, but
you know what I mean? Because if you get it so many times, like, and sometimes I feel like it's not ill intent to say it, but it's just like it has no meaning behind it.
Yeah.
When some people say it, they're just like, because you were enlisted, people just say it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Like, is there any point where like you just kind of take it?
Well, put it this way: what would you say if somebody said thank you for your service? Like, what would you say back? It's awkward, right?
Yeah. It is awkward.
What do
you're welcome.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, like the best way to, like, usually, like, an older, like, if like an older woman came up to me and like, it's different than Marine Corps because we don't wear uniforms in public, so it's not as exposed. But you look like a fucking Marine with like haircuts and everything else, whatever. But like, if an older woman came up to me, I would just like, thank you for your support. That's like the only way to really say it. It's strange, right? Because I know we touched on the 3% earlier, and the understanding of that, right? Where it's like you have all these forces supporting that 3%, and then you obviously have people that are also combative, right? But then you also have a large portion that's administrative, or it's like, very simply, lunch lady. Not to be rude, right? Or there's people who literally just build toilets to help like the Marines or Army out on deployment and ship out toilets and shit. Like there's like weird jobs like any other moving part. Are they a crucial part, and are they part of the military? Absolutely. I'm not hating on that portion whatsoever, but touching on the thing, if you're a service thing, you guys don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You never know what one person's done than the other. I think it's great to share with everybody, to say thank you to your service, no matter what they've done.
Yeah.
But it's also tough when you go to a bar or you're going out and you got a guy sitting at the bar, claiming he's a fucking Navy SEAL, and guys, talking about their war stories. And
What was the term you used?
a pogue.
Pogue.
Person other than grunt.
Yeah.
Right. Again, no hate.
No
Absolutely no
hate.
hate. Because I've also met pogues that have been in combat. Some crazy situations, dude. Like there's times of war where there's a cook on base and they're getting shot at, and the cook's got to grab a goddamn rifle and get out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's not, again, you don't know.
Yeah.
So that's where the thing for the service thing gets tough, where it's like,
There's levels.
it's weird, right? It's
Yeah.
like, how do you don't know? So that's why you're better off just saying it to anyone,
Yeah.
right? And take everything at a bar for a grain of salt.
Yeah.
Because the real guys who do the real shit, and honestly, the most honorable people I know, Bronze Star Valor guys who have like genuinely done like incredible things to this country, aren't sitting at goddamn bars telling their war stories.
No.
I'm telling you that right now. Navy SEALs, if somebody tells you Navy SEAL, they're probably not a Navy SEAL. Just gonna be real with you. Those guys don't talk about that shit. They want to live a normal life. They want to go to a bar, have a couple of beers, and go home. Or
Yeah.
they want to get
Yeah.
ripped up, like have a good time.
Yeah.
They're not there trying to tell war stories.
No.
Those guys are
Not
the
trying
guys
to
who are
relive
trying to
it.
get your recognition, be that badass at the bar. That's
Yeah.
where you can kind of point them out, or you can pick them out pretty quick, and you can kind of be like, all right, man, like
It's real, recognize real, right?
yeah.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
But
Facts.
I think it's just good for people to know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
I think that's good.
I think that's a really good point to bring up, and it puts a perspective on things too.
That's
you
it.
know?
Exactly. Like that's a part of your life now.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That probably happens to you a lot.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
thank you for your
that's
service.
that's pride in itself in a way, where
Yeah.
you're like I know what I did, and other people know what they did, and I'm Taylor, and I had 3 deployments, and like I appreciate you saying thank you for your service, but I know what I did. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it also speaks on confidence too, and like he
Yeah.
knows himself,
Facts.
right? He's not worried about telling somebody else all his accolades or
Is that
he knows exactly.
That's what's like tough about doing. I've never done anything like this. That's why this is. I mean, it's great. I think to like obviously like I'm hoping this helps people have a better insight or be more knowledgeable about the military in general. But it is difficult to just talk about this shit.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people
Absolutely.
don't get it. Like this guy's probably a fucking weirdo. This guy's like,
Yeah.
whatever. Which I don't care. I'm here to like
No.
explain things, and I hope it helps out people.
100%. My question to you, and this is the thing, is we grew up together. You're obviously older than me. Like I've looked up to you and other people of your age. Like they were always the standard, right? You guys are really good at sports. You guys are just great kids. Like me and Chippy running around, Dretta, more on the baseball side, I would say. Like me and Chippy would look up to you guys. Like you made it to the Little League World Series. Like, dude, that's sick. Like Taylor's team, like blah, 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 blah. But I don't think you touched on it yet. You were a squad leader, right?
Yes, I got out as a sergeant.
Sergeant.
Yeah, I was a infantry unit squad leader.
Yeah. So when we've had people in here that have said they're captains. Like I've been a captain, you've been a captain. Those are leaders. But that's a different animal, dude.
Yeah.
What's that like leading people?
Feeling
Like
responsible.
responsible?
For literally lives.
Yeah. Like what is that like seriously? Cuz I can't relate to that. I can't speak on that.
Dude, it's end of the day. It's all for what you're preparing for too, right? So like if you know you're going into a tough deployment, or if you know you're not, there's a different
Yeah.
right? So it's different. But generally it's all on you. It's how you train your guys. It's how you get them prepared. And even if you don't think it's gonna happen, as long as they're prepared, everyone's more comfortable.
Yeah.
Like learn their 9 line. So a 9 line is it's a procedure of 9 line items of the exact scenario to get a CASEVAC. So for a bird to pick up somebody who's been injured, right? So you need to know exactly what each line is for location, exactly how to call it in order for them to pick somebody up. That needs to be drilled into everybody's head, no matter what level you're at. Because if I get shot, well, guess what, motherfucker, you're calling that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
So it's like it's all about training, and you have the responsibility to ensure that everybody knows their job and everyone knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
Because again, it's lives on the line. It's not, it's not pass or fail here.
No.
Well, actually, shit, it is pass or fail.
Yeah.
But it's more life or death.
Yeah, life or death.
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Damn, dude. I mean, straight up, if you were my leader, I would take a bullet for you. Like, I would just be like, yo, this is my guy.
I think that's the motto, though, right?
That's the relationship you build.
That's the relationship, exactly.
And again, like I spoke earlier with like being young and dumb, man. And these are your
You
fucking,
grew-
these are your fucking boys, bro.
And you grew from that kid, right? There was like obviously an evolution from being a private to a sergeant.
Yeah, then you get a little better understanding.
Yeah.
And you have a little different perspective for sure.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah.
You're growing up, right?
Yeah. How has that role in your military experience impacted you today? Like,
Yeah, that's definitely been the most crucial. I think it plays huge into me becoming a dad too.
yeah.
Which that I think mellowed me out completely as a human being. I was a whole different person before I became a dad. I really was, dude. I think that's actually probably been the largest change in my life.
Was
really.
being a dad?
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Because and they helped me out a lot too. Even with all this stuff, like, I mean, you look at life completely different when you become a father. You really do.
Yeah.
So, incredibly blessed for them. And my wife too. She's been a huge supporter. And she's been through with me the whole journey, dude. So it's awesome.
Yeah.
And
She's got to be just as strong as you are, right?
yeah, dude. Yeah, thing, man. She was pregnant when I was deployed too. Like,
Yeah.
she was dealing with a lot of stuff, man. I had deployed three times with her.
Yeah.
I mean, I was gone 3 times, man.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I know you deal with that right now with your relationship.
Yeah.
It's tough, dude. Long distance shit's tough, man.
It's not like you though. I'll tell you
No,
that
but
right
it's
now.
it's the same thing, man. Like it's tough. Like
Yeah.
it is tough.
Yeah.
So
I do like how you relate a lot of things back to kind of like the normal side. Like when you like related it to Ed, like, because your experience is so much
Yeah.
different. It's so crazy, but you let people know, like, just normal people walking the street, that it kind of goes hand in hand. Like, you'll get the same type of experiences. I think that's so important, especially from someone who's been through so much, that's able to relate it back to anyone who can listen. Just not like a military guy who's listening. It's like a regular person on the couch listening can take something from that. You know what I mean? I think that is so crucial.
Yeah.
For when people come on here and they speak, it's like not just speaking specifically to infantry, it's speaking to just a mass, or it's like generalized more. I feel like people can learn from that like very well.
We're all
that,
human.
like, that's just, it's great where it's like, when you say that, it's just amazing. So
100%.
do you want to go into a little bit more of like your family life now, like
yeah, dude. So
how it is now, where you're at, how you're doing
Yeah.
now?
great.
How you doing now, man?
Busy, dude. One of the hardest things I've ever done in my life is become a dad, for sure, dude. 100%. It's incredibly difficult, especially to try to be a good dad. I got a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old right now. So the sleep's there. We're sleeping. It's good. My son's the 1-year-old. My daughter's 3. And needless to say, they beat us up, dude. They're crazy, man. It's good. It's good though. Life's busy. I'm actually in school still. I go to Southern New Hampshire University, working on I'm trying to get my MBA. And I work as a project manager for a construction company, telecom company out of Canton. So it's busy, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, I love when I call
It's
Taylor.
busy, bro. I that's why it was like tough to even come. I was like, I told Dad, I was like, dude, if I'm gonna come on this, bro, I'm just probably gonna randomly text you because that day is just gonna free up, man.
And
'cause
he
I
did.
never know.
And it worked out.
And I wanted to be in like a good mindset too, man.
Yeah.
Because like, dude, there's long days, man.
Yeah. I love the Taylor calls when I call Taylor and it'll be like 2 weeks from the previous call, a month. And I'm like, Taylor, what's up? And he'll be like, dude, you'll never believe it. We have 3 new cars, a brand new dog, and we're moving to Connecticut. And I'm just like, not actually.
Yeah.
Like, that's a metaphor, obviously, but like
I would never move to Connecticut.
No, you're very spontaneous. You're always doing something, you know.
Gotta keep them on their toes, right?
But dude, I think we all set it off the air. We definitely want to have you on again at some point.
Yeah, it'd be good, man. I mean, This is really, really cool.
Yeah.
For sure. I appreciate you guys inviting me on, dude. Both of you guys. It was sick. Good to catch up, dude.
Good to catch up. That was a long time.
Yeah.
Long time.
It's great. It's good to see you guys are doing good too. And,
Yeah.
Hopefully we can do this again and we can dig into some. I got some weird stories.
Yeah.
Too. I don't want.
Yeah.
I'm a military.
I'm ready.
I love listening to these stories,
Me too.
and we only, touch the surface here. But I really think, as a whole, you gave me a perspective of military personnel that I didn't have before this.
Absolutely.
And I think for anybody listening to it, like, you're really going to get that full perspective of Taylor as a sergeant, as a private, what he went through before, what he went through during, and definitely want to have you on again because, like I said, it's like I could ask you these questions all day, but until that random text comes again where you're like, "Hey, podcast?" I'm like, "Yes, let's go."
Let's do it during the winter time though. It's hot as fuck in here.
Facts.
But
Camera overheating.
Yeah, thanks for coming on.